Hi, I just wanted to welcome everyone to our live. Welcome. I'm here to talk about the Creators Circle workshop and to answer any questions that you all might have about the Creators Circle workshop. So here we go. All right, so the Creators Circle workshop, I came up with the idea for this a very, very long time ago, actually several years ago. And then the pandemic happened, and wow, that made a lot of things difficult for a lot of us. And I certainly didn't really have the time then to show up in this way and do the Creators Circle workshop back then. So it's been on my mind for a long time and something that I really have wanted to do. I am a creative person myself. That's one of the ways that I identify. Other people don't identify using that word, and that's fine. You don't need to be a creative. You can see yourself as an entrepreneur or a business person or someone who has an idea of something that you want to change in your life or a new way you want your life to be. And maybe you have a project you want to complete that you've never gotten around to. And maybe it is some type of an art project or a creative project or a woodworking project or a home project or whatever. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it is a business type thing you've always been interested in but you've never done. Everyone has something different in their life. So whatever your thing is, that's kind of what this is for, is to help you be able to really kind of complete that, to create this space in your life to get through that thing and get it done in a supportive environment. So I'm Melody Brave. I'm the owner of Becoming You Counseling, as well as Bravely You LLC. And I have my hands in a few other little things I do kind of as well. So not only am I a psychotherapist as a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Missouri, but I provide counseling services working predominantly with people with very heavy trauma backgrounds. And I love that work and I'm super passionate about it. But I also am a coach and a consultant for creatives. And not just creatives, but people that also want healthier relationships as well. So my passion is helping people be able to move into living life in a healthy way, however that is healthy for them, and helping them create sustainable, healthy life, relationships. And I love working with creative people, especially around those things. Especially those who have had a lot of trauma, they normally come up with some really amazing and creative ideas. People that have suffered a lot of trauma and then really work to heal from that and resolve and move through the overwhelming, upsetting emotions oftentimes become amazing solution creators in the world. They are normally people who have incredible ideas about how to make things better, how to improve things, they've had to come up with a lot of solutions for how to move through difficult things in their own lives. And so then they oftentimes can bring those solutions that they've come up with for themselves to other people and help those people grow and change with those solutions that they've created for themselves. It's incredible to watch people go through that process. And I thought, well, I really want to be a part of helping them move through that process and get to that place where they actually do and create that in the real world, where they move into that, where they actually do it, where they begin to stop limiting themselves and their lives and what they do in their lives, and they let themselves move into this new and great and incredible new adventure where they're bringing the solutions into the world at large. So I then decided that I know the next few years of my life, I'm going to be changing some big things about my life. I'm going to be launching my communication model and doing some really other incredible work that I'm really looking forward to. And I noticed that in this little time period right here, right now, before I launch my communication model and go all in on that, this was probably one of the last moments where I would have an opportunity to really run this Creators Circle workshop like I had thought about. So I decided, okay, let's do it. It's time to go ahead and move forward right now and offer this. So I'm offering the Creators Workshop now. After some applications I've received for some people already, if you want to fill out an application, drop into the comments. It's there. The links are posted as a part of this live. So whenever people fill out the application, there's different options on there for what people want. And several people who have already filled out that have already let me know that this today didn't work for them. So I moved to doing the live Q&A today and beginning the workshop on Saturday, April 22nd at 10 a.m. And that first one is most likely going to be online. If everyone does continue to want to move towards being in person here locally in the Springfield, Missouri area, we will do that, and we will be here locally in Springfield, Missouri area meeting somewhere in person, which would be a lot of fun. I'd love to do this in person if it's possible. So so that's just a little bit about what kind of we're going to be doing and everything. So I want to talk a little bit today about the Creator Circle and what we're actually going to be doing in that time together. So since we're starting on April 22nd online, it's going to be 4 hours online on April 22nd if that's the option you choose. You can choose to just attend the first 2 hours where we really talk about the problem that everyone's having or struggling with, or what they're wanting to create in the world, the solution they're wanting to do, or the change in their life they're wanting, or the business, or whatever it is that they're wanting to put out there and work through or begin on in those 6 months for this workshop. So whenever we excuse me. So whenever we meet for those first 2 hours are going to be my coaching and consulting, bringing all of my education and experience and knowledge and history and background, and using that with all of us to help us move through blocks, through obstacles, stuck points, overwhelm, whatever is kind of going on, it's getting in the way, shifting perspectives, working on our mindset, whatever is kind of the thing that's going on in that moment for that person. And we're all going to share. We're going to share ideas. We're going to share what works for each of us. We're going to share what doesn't work. We're really going to talk about what it is that's going on, what we want to create, and how we're going to create it. How to break all of that big, overwhelming idea and this thing that seems so massive and big down into these little steps. Like, what is it that we need to do today to move closer to that goal we have? Well, what does that look like? How can I fit that in? Do I have 15 minutes to work on it? Do I have 5 minutes to work on it? And making sure that we actually put those things into our daily life in some way. If we're not moving in some little way most days towards that goal, it's not really going to happen. Because of course, our time is our energy that we're investing into what we want to create. And that's why I call it Creator's Circle. There's something you're wanting to create. A change, a business, a book, an art show, a woodworking project. I could go on, reorganizing your home and your space. All of these things come together, and there's not really a right or a wrong place to start. That's one of the common misconceptions that a lot of creatives I've noticed, or a lot of people that want to create something, or business people have, is, well, I gotta start in the right spot. I used to get really hung up on that as well myself in the past. That was something that really blocked me and stopped me from moving forward on things I wanted to work on, because I had to get it right. And it's less about getting it right, and it's more about getting going and getting the momentum. And the momentum builds, and we move forward on things by actually doing, actually finding those micro steps, coming up and putting things together. So kind of wherever our energy and our focus is and it wants to get started, ideas, brainstorming, writing, drawing, creating, wherever we start with the idea, it's probably the right spot for us to start. When we start little times, little steps, little bits here and there, then that is how we snowball effect through the entirety of completing something really big. We have to start with small little bits in order to move forward and get through it. And we do little bits over time. So in the group, we're going to talk about that. So for some people, they're going to be like, well, I think I'm procrastinating because I want to clean my office. Well, but maybe cleaning your office is exactly the thing that you need to do today. Maybe cleaning your office is right. And so maybe what we do is we talk about that in those first couple of hours of the workshop. And then the next 2 hours of the workshop, we'll take a little break, And then the next 2 hours of the workshop is time for us to actually focus and to build the momentum together with accountability, with one another there. And then we'll have little breaks. We'll have focused work time where I'm going to kind of like work us for like 20 to 30 minutes, kind of like as the group feels that suits us and that fits for us, that the group decides like this is the amount of time we kind of want to work for right now. And we're going to work for that period of time together as a group. Setting the clock, I might play some music or have some white noise or brown noise or whatever type of noise we all kind of decide as a group feels best or right. We might change it up sometimes and do something different, right? Or we may work in silence. And everyone's going to be welcome to, during that time, if they don't like the music or whatever, play their own music and mute everything and just like not hear it, not listen to it, not interact in any way. We're all going to be silent and not talking during that time, and we're going to just focus and do some work, and then we'll come back and have a break, and we'll kind of like reconvene and chat, talk to one another for a bit. How did that go? What was stuck points? How's it feel to get going? And so it's just building these little increments of time. What we're choosing to do with this workshop is we're choosing to take 4 hours, one Saturday of a month. That's it, just 4 hours, one Saturday of a month to focus on this. That's it. We're just saying these 4 hours from 10 a.m. Central Time until 2 p.m. Central Time, one Saturday of a month, I'm going to give my focus to this. And you'll be really surprised if you make that choice and that determination and that commitment. You've got people around you to support you. How much that little commitment can really make in turning the tide of things for you and getting you moving in the direction of completion, finishing, or even just moving towards beginning and really getting going at your project. It's going to help bring your focus in. It's going to help you get excited and motivated, and you're going to want to do more. Plus, you're going to be surrounded by a group of people that I curate to make sure that we're all going to fit well together and interact well together. A group of like-minded people that also want to move in a direction and be a community to help us really be moving forward and being healthy as we move forward as creatives. Not expecting too much of ourselves and not ignoring our self-care and our needs, but finding the balance in our life of how do we care for ourselves continuously on an ongoing basis while we also move towards this thing. So we don't burn out, so we don't take too much from ourselves, so we don't demand too much of ourselves, so we don't have too high of expectations. We'll have those at times, and we'll have to deal with them, and we'll talk about that as a group as well, because too high expectations is completely a thing. And so we're going to talk about that and how to deal with those too high of expectations that we may have. And we're going to have to talk about how do we lower those, or how do we address them, or how to be more gentle and kind to ourselves in the process as we move forward through that. There's a lot of stuff that we're really going to need to address to become healthy as we move to this goal and everything. So I'm really excited about doing that, talking about those things. That's stuff that I do in counseling with my counseling clients. That's stuff that I do in my personal life as well. And it's what I talk to my friends about all the time too. And our self-care and how we're balancing that and balancing our life and resting properly and nourishing ourselves so we can really show up for ourselves the way we really want to in life. And we can really show up for other people the way we want to, our partners, our friends, children, our romantic partners, our business partners, those other individuals in our life, our community around us, of people we care about, our families. It's really, really important that we show up in a healthy way for ourselves so we can be healthy for them too. And if we're not doing the things that we're passionate about and creating stuff in the world that we really want to see happening, sometimes that eats up us and our energy, and our we have less joy, we have less courage, we have less happiness, and so that can affect our moods, which then affects the moods of the people around us as well, because they see us not living our happiest and they love us, then they're going to notice that, and they're going to see and be impacted by our moods to some degree because they care about us. So they're going to tune into that. They're going to be checking in like, why aren't you okay? You know, they want to see, when people love us, they want to see us thriving and being happy and healthy and doing the stuff that matters to us in the world. And oftentimes it's difficult for us sometimes to really commit to doing what's important to us in the world and what we want to see, what we want to create. Because we know that like that's taking time to focus on our thing. And that's time that we feel like we're maybe taking away from other people. But I want to let you know this is a gift that you're giving to yourself to focus on you. And that as you bring up your joy and your motivation and your supporting yourself and getting the things done you want to get done, it will flow into other areas of your life you couldn't have imagined before, and help you get more done in the other areas of your life as well. It's going to help you have more joy and motivation to support other people too. So it isn't just a gift that you give to yourself. It will give back to you and your home, your community, your friends, and those around you. You'll have more energy for everything by moving through these steps. So I really want to invite that idea of coming to this as a gift to you, but also the gift that you're going to give the people around you. So I am really excited about the time we're going to spend together. I also want us to be able to build from this a healthy community that supports each other on an ongoing basis if the participants want, if you want to do that. So I also plan to create, I have a couple of different ideas about what I'm exactly going to do, kind of like checking in with participants and see what they like and what they want to do. But I'm planning on either creating a Discord server, or I'm going to create a specific group. I'm not planning to probably use Facebook, as I'm rarely on Facebook myself, except for things like this. Probably not going to use a Facebook group, but most likely I'm going to create a group, probably like the Circle app, which is connected to my Teachable account, or using Discord or something like that. A group and a place, a community for us to build more relationships outside. So we can check in on each other on a weekly basis or a daily basis or whatever the community kind of wants to do, and talk and chat about what's going on in the meantime. So outside of our once a month 4 hours on a Saturday from 10 a.m. Central Time to 2 p.m. Central Time, we're also going to have a community where we can have ongoing discussions and conversations. Or we're going to do it as an email thread, or whatever the group kind of wants to do. So I am really excited. Hey, hi, welcome. I didn't see you there. Someone just popped into the comments and said Discord, thumbs up. Yeah, Discord is a really great option and way to do that. So that's definitely one of the options that we have. Thanks for commenting and letting me know. So we are going to possibly be able to do some type of other events as well in there if the group wants to. I want it to be some type of place where if the group wants to like do that kind of sprinting thing on a more ongoing basis outside of our once a month meeting together and doing the 2 hours of talking about things and working on stuff, and the 2 hours of sprinting and focused time working on whatever it is you need to work on. I wanted to also have that community group so that everyone can come in there, and we can also do that there too. And I plan that when I'm doing my usual focus times in my life, which are built into my schedule, and where I'm like, this is the time I'm working on this day on these things, I plan to come into that group, whatever we create as a community, and post there and say, okay, I'm going to be doing this. Do you want to join me? And we do it over on Facebook. Do we do it in Discord? Do we do it on YouTube? And where do we want to go? And I can run this and we can be there. Do we want to do it in this private community? Like if we could do it in Discord, we could do it in like the Circle app. We have options. So we can get together still outside of that once a month and have times as well. And within our schedule, if people in the group want to do it, I'll be doing it in my life. So everyone's going to be welcome to join me. And we'll just use that community to also create those additional times and those additional supports and have more conversation about what's going on and how we're going to move through. So that way we're not just once a month group, but that's your commitment to yourself. But we still have way more outside of that once a month going on, where we're really allowing ourselves to come together and be together and support in moving forward. So if you're getting stuck on something or you have a question, you can pop in there and say, so I need to build a website. What do you all have ideas and suggestions for that? Or I have a question about this. And someone in that group can help you with it, or I can. We most likely as a group will have a lot of diverse knowledge and be able to really help one another in various ways. So everyone that's coming into the group has completely different backgrounds and experiences and professionalism. Yes, several people have already completed their applications, and I know some people who I'll be reaching out to and saying, hey, you've been accepted and you'll be able to come in. And so I know those diverse experiences and ideas and walks of life and backgrounds and careers and everything that those people have had are going to really enrich the group. We're going to have some really cool people with lots of different, a lot of variety of skills. And so that's going to be really cool because there's going to be a lot of input from one another as you want it, as you ask for it. We're also going to have community rules, and we're going to talk about the importance of asking directly and clearly for what you want and responding to what that person wants, and not just like throwing out miscellaneous stuff that can maybe take them off track or away from what they're really actually looking for and wanting. And talking about the importance of whenever we have all that advice or feedback coming in that we're asking for, sorting through it and deciding like what really fits for me or not. And that's something you can also then always bring back to the group on the Saturdays when we meet for those 2 hours to really discuss that type of stuff, is talk about that decision-making process. Because the decision-making process that goes into creating and a change in your life or creating a project or completing something is also important. And I have a lot of feedback for like what I do in my life around decision-making processes. And my process sometimes is kind of slow for some decisions, slower than I'd like. And sometimes it's faster than I'd like and I get move too quickly. But that's okay because I can make a mistake and learn from it and then kind of correct and be like, okay, I want to go a different direction, because we have the right to change our mind. So it's okay to know going in that there will also be support for if you're struggling with some decisions and like having to choose something over something to make a choice, that the group can be there to help support you through that decision-making process. So all this being said, I have had a lot of people going, I'm really uncomfortable joining a group and coming into a group and creating these kinds of conversations with other people with the material that I have, because I'm really concerned that someone might steal my book idea or my business idea or my project, right? And maybe they can launch it and get out into the world before I could. And then deep breath. I've already thought of that. Everyone that's going to be coming in and joining the group, the requirement will be, before you're ever admitted to the group, is to sign an NDA. If you don't know what an NDA is, it's a non-disclosure agreement. It's a non-disclosure agreement that the creative ideas that are shared and talked about and discussed in the group will not be discussed or talked about outside of the group, and that they will remain the property of the person that brings them up and talks about them, and that they will not be used by anyone else. And I'm asking everyone to sign that and then make that agreement and that commitment with their real information linked to that form, so that way it can be a legally binding type of thing and everyone can be held to that standard. So that way all creators' information and all of your ideas are protected. You know that I have created that form and everyone's had to sign it to come into the group. No one will be admitted to the group until they've completed that form. So that's a very important piece, I think, about helping everyone to feel safe and secure, so you can really talk as openly as you want to and as you need to about your ideas in the group, and not have to be so worried about mincing your words and cutting things out and spending lots of extra time in your brain reconfiguring how you talk about your idea because you don't want someone else to steal it, and allow you just to be able to be in a more safe, natural environment with your ideas, where you can just discuss them and talk about what you're creating very openly, and not be afraid that it's going to be taken or stolen without there being some type of recourse. So the only documentation we'll be keeping from our meetings and things like that is who attends and the type of ideas and projects they talked about. And I'll be recording at least those first 2 hours that we're together talking about and consulting and coaching on our work and our projects. Those will I'm planning to record those One of the reasons for recording it is to help keep everything safe. Because if a person brings up and talks about that idea, then it's been recorded and everyone knows that person talked about that idea in that meeting. So if someone else from this group runs off and starts creating that exact book, you're like, no, that's no, non-disclosure agreement signed, and I'm protected because we recorded it and there's that proof that you brought that idea up. So I wanted to let creators know that for this, because I know for me as a creator, it's always really important to be able to feel safe and secure about what's going on with me and my stuff, so that I can really be open about it. And if that's not a safe and loving environment to help protect that and keep it safe, then it's really hard for me to show up as my true authentic self and bring my full genuine idea with me and talk about it openly, because I know the environment may not be safe. So I wanted to reassure everyone with that as well. So those are some of the main things. The application for the workshop, if you haven't filled it out already, then you may not know that the application for the workshop is just an application, okay? So when you go in and you complete the application, which the link to it is in the comments here, the link, that the application is just it's just a form you're filling out with your information. You do not submit payment with the application. So it's not like you have to go in and be like, okay, well, I'll fill this out later because I can't pay today. Just so you'll know, there's no payment attached to it this time. It's simply an application, to be able to join the group, so that I can see your information and who you are, what you want to create, and make sure you're a good fit for all of us, and get your feedback on the dates that we're going to be meeting and all of that. So please feel free to go ahead and complete the application. You don't need to wait any longer for that. Also, I am going to accept people joining the group through the end of May. So that, well, not through the end of May, but through our meeting in May, meaning that you can still sign up and join us for the May workshop and join then, and not join and start with the April workshop if you can't join this month. So that way people can start in May if it doesn't work out to start in April this month. Of course, there are some package options for payment, and those will go away, and you will not be able to get those discounts and things like that if you sign up later, like you sign up in May. So those things are only available through April's meeting, which starts on April 22nd. What I will do every month is I'm going to charge people that pay monthly. They will be charged 2 days before the workshop to make sure payment clears and everything is good with that before that month's workshop. And it is a commitment that we are doing. This is a 6 month at least workshop series. And why do I say 6 months at least? Well, if the group really loves the group and they're really enjoying it, and they're like, we want to go another 2 months, or we want to go another 6 months, and that is possible for me, that's the big key, that's possible for me to continue, we could do that. And I could open it up again where it's like as a package kind of deal, or it's a monthly type payment thing, whatever. I don't anticipate or foresee that I will be able to continue this beyond a year. That would be my max, most likely, because of my communication model that I'll be launching, and how it's going to be eating up my life and my time. But I can continue this for possibly up to a year, depending on my availability. So if the group does want to continue from this point forward, it's possible we can. I don't think I will be opening it up to new additional group members joining us in the workshop unless the group agrees that they're okay with bringing in new people. Especially because by that point we will have really created our own group, and bringing in new people, sometimes it can feel difficult, like almost like coming into a clique or something, like in high school, and so that can be really difficult and awkward for new people coming in. So whoever does join in the beginning, unless the participants later on agree that they're okay with opening up to new people, I don't plan to add any new people, so that the group can be their own group together. So I don't know if you all have any questions or any ideas that you want to bring up or offer. Thank you, Sonia. It is exciting. It's something that is this type of format is the type of thing that's helped motivate me in the past to move forward through things and actually get projects done. I once used this exact type of format ran by someone else to actually, not exact type of format, I'm doing something pretty different with the 4 hours and the 2 hours, 2 hours, but there was a similar type of group one time where they had a once a month, like 1 hour or 90-minute, I think it was, meeting. And it really helped me and motivated me at that time to move forward through some things in my life and get some things done for myself around my business and all. And I did that several years ago. And I used something similar with myself a while back whenever I was reorganizing and establishing my home space here. And I did something very similar with these like time spots and where I would work for a focused period of time on a project to really help myself. And it changed my motivation a lot. I was feeling very unmotivated and overwhelmed, but this formatting of this type of workshop was what I used for myself to get myself to actually move into the actual steps of completing stuff. And then that motivation builds and builds more as you go through it and actually practice those the small focused time. Just, I'm going to take this time and I'm going to focus here on this, whatever it is. So my entire space got organized in that way, and my whole life is very different because my space flows so much better now for that. So you can use this for whatever type of task you want. You know, you don't have to stay at a computer. You can use it for all sorts of different things. So we do it if the group decides to remain online and only be an online group, you know, then you can walk away from your computer and just in your home wherever you are, right? And I would like to have the option, if everyone's okay with it, everyone likes the idea, I really like the idea of allowing it to be a hybrid. So if people do want to meet in person here locally in the Springfield, Missouri area, we meet in person here. And what we do is allow people to actually like attend online as well, so they can be a part of it, but they can attend from home if that's best for them. I know that since the pandemic, a lot of people have a lot of different health problems and different health issues and health concerns, and so maybe meeting in a small group in person isn't a good idea for them. So I want that to be able to be that you can attend online as well. So don't be necessarily too worried about whether or not it's going to be an online or in-person group. If you need to attend online and the group would like to also be in person, I fully intend to make that fully possible. I have ideas for everything from a camera and how we would have it laid out, and to allowing and having myself mic'd the whole time and having a computer present, so that way people can see us and interact, and I can read their comments live, and they can even be live themselves and I can see them and they can talk and join the group as well, and I can sit with the computer, so that way we all can engage fully in the entire workshop, whether we're in person or online. So I really want this to be something that allows all of us to engage in the way that it works best for us as creators, as people that are wanting to complete something and get something done in these 6 months. I want it to be something that works for you, with you, and where you're at and what your needs are. So I'm going to check the comments now because I think a couple of comments popped up. A hybrid I think is such a great idea because it really allows that flexibility, right? So that people can come from wherever and do what they need to do. And if you're like, I want to be at home working on organizing my home for these 6 months, or remodeling a room in my home, or doing woodworking, right? Then you can have your computer there and be doing your thing in that space. Or if you're painting, you know, you maybe don't want to bring all of your painting supplies to our in-person meeting, right? And so that is a way that allows you to work from the place that works for you, that fits your life, that doesn't require you to have to go outside of the space that maybe is physically safe for you, emotionally safe for you, or the space that you need to be doing the work in. we can't necessarily all just bring our computers and do the project, you know. I imagine some people have a home set up for their project, you know, whether if it's woodworking, for example, or painting or whatever. And it's like, I don't want to attend this in person because I can't bring my whole art studio or my whole garage with me, right? So if we do that hybrid, that really allows us all to do that. And that is my plan. I do have lots of thoughts for that, and I have lots of things in motion to make that happen. So please know that you can fully attend from whatever space, either online, even if we are in person. So yes. Yeah, I love, you know, talking about creators, but like in the comments you're saying, you know, like expanding the idea of creatives. Like, so many people struggle with claiming the word creative. I know a person who spent a couple of years trying to convince me they weren't a creative, and made me laugh all the time, because that individual was one of the most creative people I know in their own way, right? Like when we talk about creators and creatives, I think a lot of us have an idea and an image that looks like a specific thing. Like a creator is a content creator on social media who is making funny little skit videos every single day, right? Or a creative is an individual who, you know, fits this little box over here and they spend 5 hours a day writing novels, or 7 hours a day painting, or whatever, right? And I think that's just like this more of the lies we've been fed about the boxes that we all fit into, right? And like, please step out of the box, destroy the box, stomp on the box, crush the box. Where I think all human beings, I've never met a human being that doesn't have their own way of being a creator or a creative. Whether it looks different maybe than other people, but every single person has their own way in which they're inventing or creating, in which they're thinking about things in a new and different way and interacting with their life. Whether they're, you know, tweaking a recipe that they make to make it more the way they like it, you just tweaked a recipe, so you created your own version of it. That's creation. That's being a creative. And it's like, well, but no, it's not. Yeah, it is. But we, again, like put it into this box, right? This is what it looks like to be a creative. This is the thing. No, you're doing it in your life in your own way, in some way. And so it can be really hard to accept labels. Like, or I think a creator's workshop is right for you because I'm not a creator. That's not me. I'm not a creative. Yeah, you are. If you have an idea, if you have something you want to do, something you want to change in your life, creating change is the process of creating. It makes you a creator. And you have to become creative to change things in your life, whether it's reorganizing your home, or it's, you know, becoming a person who has a better sleeping and waking up routine, or whatever that looks like. You're creating something different in your life. So you're a creator in my definition of the word. Feel free to create your own. So yeah. In the comments, Laura said, creating a community of creatives is very attractive. Yeah, I know, right? Especially since like everything about my brand is all about creating community, but especially healthy community. And that's where I'm trying to go in the future with my communication model as well. And I thought, why not begin to provide that to people right here with this? Like, if we're going to come together and start doing this, we are creating community. That's what we're doing. And so why not be deliberate about it and give us space for it? Let us create a healthy community of creatives that will be supportive, that will be practicing healthy communication and relationship, and doing that, and allow me to supply that to people that sign up for this, and give us a space where we can connect with other people that are going to have our backs and support us. And I'm going to be everyone. I can be a bit of a cheerleader at times. My clients often sometimes are like, that sometimes I have very cheerleader energy because I can get very excitable about people's things and get very excited. And, you know, in this community, that's what we get to do. We get to be excited for one another and our growth and our change and our progress. We get to cheer each other on. And if you really like something somebody else is doing, you can show up to support their thing, right? We can all of us actually be there to encourage one another and show up with each other to be able to support those things. You can like each other's pages, you can follow each other, and you may have really helpful advice and input, feedback for each other that allows all of us to actually really improve or to slightly change. We thought we were going to do it like this, but now we're going to do it like this, right? Because that group is like, oh, like with this thing, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll take that. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then you can take that idea and you can use that, right? Because you can grow and expand, and we can all do that with one another. And that's why when I do one-on-one coaching with people and consulting and counseling work, and they get me. But with this group, you get a community of people who are there, who want to see you succeed, because we want to all succeed, and our successes will all build on one another. And as we see each other succeed and grow and thrive, we will be able to be more motivated and more encouraged because it's working for them. And maybe that same thing won't work that way for you, and you'll have to tweak it and work a different way for you, or maybe it won't work for you at all. But seeing and being surrounded by people that have the same mission, the same purpose, the same goals is what helps a lot of us build more motivation, especially people with lots of big ideas and creation ideas and creative ideas and creative endeavors and projects and stuff like that. Because when you're around people who are doing and completing and working towards something, it inspires us all, and it helps us feel more motivated. And we will probably at times have to deal with imposter syndrome for sure, as Sonia popped into the comments and said. We will have to deal with imposter syndrome at times with some of it, because we won't feel like we're probably really a creative. But then also there's going to be times where we're also going to be dealing with lower motivation, or see someone else being able to do like way more than we can do. And we can talk as a group about like, my energy is not where that person's energy is at. That doesn't mean that I'm not successful because I'm going slower at my path than them. Sometimes the people that do things really fast and a lot of stuff, and they're like just like functioning at a super high level, they might burn out a little bit, and then they might have a slower time period, or they're cycling. If you don't know who Becca Syme is, I really recommend that you go check her out as a creative in general. Becca Syme is amazing. I'm trying to think if I have anything by Becca over here. Becca has what's called the QuickCast and the Better Faster Academy. But Becca Syme is all about, this is her stuck list. She just released the stuck list. I was part of her Kickstarter. It was really awesome. And so this is the stuck list deck of cards, and it helps you like move through blocks and things like that. But Becca Syme talks a lot about how we as individuals all have different cycles with creation and projects and pacing for ourselves. And so I attended her talk at 20 Books to 50K conference. Yes, it's 20 Books to 50K conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, in November this past year. And at her talk, Becca talked about, and she had this presentation, and she had like all these like slides and dials and switches and knobs and things. And she talked about us and how we are, as like all those things are different. We have different types of switches, we have different types of knobs, we have different types of dials, we have different types of scales, we have different types of, things for different types of stuff for us. And so some people, how they're going to function best is to have these high times of major productivity where they're going to like do a whole bunch of stuff all at once. And then they're going to be dead for 3 days and rest. And so with this group, we're going to need to talk about that. We're going to need to talk about your creative cycle and not comparing to one another, supporting each other, but not expecting yourself to function at that level that other creators are at. Because Becca is so right about that. Becca, I don't think she has a degree in psychology or a background as a counselor or anything, but Becca's knowledge and her understanding of us as humans and how we function and develop and operate is amazing, because it goes along with everything I know as a clinician, as a counselor, as a psychotherapist. That is exactly true about some people. We're all a little different based on the things we've been through in life and how we've developed. So we're going to function different in this group. So we are going to need to have grace and know that other people are going to be a little different than us. It's going to look different from us. Not judge, not compare, not hold ourselves to that standard and say, hey, I am obviously failing because I'm not doing 45 things a day, okay? No, maybe you did one thing today and that was good for you with everything else you have going in your life. We all have our own stuff, and a healthy community of creators that I want to help create for all of us, a thriving, good community, is going to support those differences. That we're each an individual, we're doing it our own individual way, and that's okay. It's normal, it's healthy. Be your own individual, thrive in that way, and figure out what that cycle and process is like for you and lean into it. You know, if you're a spurt person and you do a bunch all at once and then you crash, let yourself, okay? Let it be. And if that changes for you in the process of these 6 months and it just stops working and something else works instead, fantastic. And then it goes back, cool. Just let it be. We need times of more rest in our lives. I know I have needed times of more rest in my life where I didn't function as much and I did way less. And then that supported another time in my life where I'm doing way more. And if I didn't have that time period where I let myself off the hook, so to speak, right? And I just had all that rest and I was there in that space with myself, and I was maybe looked shut down to everyone else. But that state allowed me to now be in the state in my life that I'm in now, where I'm a consistent creator and where I'm consistently, and by consistently, I mean my own model and definition of consistency. Am I putting out a TikTok every single day? No. Do I care? No, I don't. I'm not going to hold myself and be bound anymore by these rules that it has to look like this and you have to release your video every day this time. I'm going to be me in my own way and let the process flow for myself as it flows. I'm going to learn and function as it works for me in my life. And bit by bit, piece by piece, I become more consistent and more reliable, and I've been gentler and kinder to myself, and my energy has balanced out and become more consistent and more reliable. And now I can function way better. I'm way more in touch with my body. I know if I'm not feeling well today, and then I don't expect as much from myself that day. And I lighten up the load and I say, well, these 12 things aren't getting done today. You should see how many post-it notes I have on my desk. Actually, you shouldn't right now. But I know that they're not all going to get done today. I mean, some of these things are really big things, like create the NDA for the Creators Workshop, and also finish my trademarking for my communication model. And also, you know, and like I can't do all of that in one day. And I don't expect that of myself anymore, because I understand what it really means to be a creator consistently over time and to learn how to work with my ebbs and flow. So in this, and as we meet and as we create our community, wherever we create it at, Discord or whatnot, I'm going to be sharing those kinds of things. I'm talking about stuff too. I'm going to share all of my experiences, all of my knowledge. I'm going to share people like Becca Sign with everyone and talk about her and the work that she does. Whatever people are interested in, whatever they're wanting to create, whatever resources I have that connect with that for them, I'm going to share all of that. So we can also create a resource library of sorts as well. We can create a literal document that is a library of resources as well if we want to, for all of one another, and pour in our ideas and our thoughts and how things work for us. And we can share that as a community so that we can all have more information available and accessible to us than what we're trying to do on our own. And that's really ultimately why I love doing this, is because a lot of creators, creatives, artistically minded people with lots of stuff they want to do and create and bring into the world, a lot of times that comes from, like I talked about earlier, like it can come from like our own life experiences. It can come from trauma. And so for a lot of people, we're very shut down. We're trying to do all of it over here by ourselves. I have no experience with this whatsoever. I do. Been there. And we try to be almost loners at everything. And there's I think it's important to build strength in yourself and your knowledge and your knowingness that you can do this. You don't need other people to some degree. Oh, sorry, I just shut my alarm off. But it's also really important that we allow, in a safe way, with safe people that actually care about us and have our best interest, we allow other ideas and inputs that will help us grow and thrive and move forward. So I really want us to be able to be that for one another, that we don't have to keep going at everything so alone, that you're not the end all be all for all resources, that there really are more options and other ideas and new ways of looking at things and other perspectives that can be helpful. And I want us to be able to be in a space together where it's safe for that to happen, and it's safe to bring in ideas, and it's also safe to reject them if they're not for you, and it's okay. And it's safe to reject them at first and then come back 5 minutes later and be like, okay, actually, yeah. Because I do that too as a creative. I think we all do. So this can be a space for that as well, hopefully, as we develop that community together. So there are lots of different payment options. I mentioned it earlier. I just want to come back to that and let people know there's many different payment options for this. You don't have to pay for the full workshop and attend the full workshop all 4 hours. The first 2 hours by itself you can attend, and that's $150 every month. And you can pay monthly. And then the full 4 hours is $300 monthly. You can pay that way. You can also pay all at once and save money and pay upfront for the whole workshop series, all 6 months, for the first 2 hours, or for the second, or for all 4 hours. I am only allowing people to attend either only just the first 2 hours or the full 4 hours. The second 2 hours of the action part is only open and available to anyone who is attending the first 2 hours where we're building community. I'm not allowing people just to join us for just those 2 hours where we're doing focused work, unless they're also a part of the first 2 hours of the workshop. So just so everyone understands that. You don't get to choose which 2 hours you attend. You can attend the first 2 hours where we're doing the work on blocks and the work on your projects and whatever you want to talk about and need help with or support with or just need to discuss. And then the second 2 hours is open to those people that attend the first 2 hours. So there's also a couple of package options and things where you can also pay for additional one-on-one coaching and consulting with me, where you can buy some packages. You don't have to do any of that to have access to that. Anyone that is a part of this that wants to be like, I would like to spend an hour with you this month, or 90 minutes with you this month, or 2 hours with you this month, or a whole day with you this month, or whatever, because I do client intensives where I spend whole days with people, working with them on their specific thing, whatever is going on. And if you want to do any of those options, you can as well at any time. And all of this, you can just purchase that a la carte through me as a consultant and a coach, and that's available as well. So you have lots of options for what you do. The payment options are listed out in the application form, and the pricing and which ones are discounted and how much you can save. I think one of the packages you can save over $550, which is like getting an entire 4-hour workshop for free and an hour of consulting with me for free, basically. There's that. I'm also offering a referral program with all of this. I'm sorry, I need to drink some more water. So if you invite along and bring in some other friends, you got some creative friends, some people you want to collaborate with, or someone who also wants to work on a project, or maybe the two of you are working on a project together. Maybe you're creating something together, or you're writing together, or you're partners in business, or you're partners on a new idea you want to build together, or whatever. And you both, or your group wants to come and join this, you're welcome to do so as well, and to bring those people. And then there's a referral program, basically, where if they put down that you're the person that referred them, you can get so much off. Or if you buy one of the bigger packages, you can also have the option, you can get more one-on-one consultation time with me, and coaching time. So so there's lots of different options of how you do things. It's up to you to figure out what fits your budget, fits your schedule, and and works for you. So if there's not any more questions, I think so that's Sonia, I love your definition. Oh, I missed comments. They just loaded now. Sonia said, so a creator is someone who has a goal or vision or dream they're wanting to bring forth into existence, reality, into a shareable space. Yeah, I love that. That's a great definition. Laura said, love cheering for others at the same time forgetting how much I need that. Right. Yeah. We all do that, right? Where we're like, yeah, like we're so excited for other people and their stuff, and we want to cheer for them and celebrate them, but we don't necessarily allow other people to even know what we're doing and what we're up to be able to cheer for it. We're just like sort of quiet, sometimes as creators or creatives, or whatever you want to call yourself, writer, thinker, entrepreneur, whatever, right? Multi-potentialite is another term. We are like over here with our little thing and we're like doing it, but we're not really letting anyone see it or do it so they can really cheer for us. And we also need that because we do need to know what's going well and what others see in it. It does support us, and we need to allow and receive support in as well. It can be hard to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that aspect of the workshop, Laura said, and I am too. It's one of the great parts about building healthy community and collaborating and sharing ideas and thoughts and allowing ourselves to receive support as well as share it, and making sure we're having healthy two-way streets, right, in relationships. So Sonia said, we live on a tidal planet, so our capability ebbs and flows, and getting into our own rhythm is so helpful. Yeah, well said, Sonia. Well said. Yes, love that idea of a tidal planet, right? Because the ocean tides, yes, and our capability does ebb and flow. We are sick, or our job demands more of us, so we have less available for our personal life, and then sometimes we have to consciously balance that out so we can take care of this over here that we need to, and we have to figure out how, just like the tides come and go, how we're going to do that, how we're going to have that balance and that ebb and flow in our life without ever completely abandoning self and our passion projects and what we care about in the world, what we want to see exist in the world, what we want to bring into the world. We have to find how to balance the rhythm so that we don't just completely turn away from that, ignore it, and aren't doing anything with it. Instead, where we're staying with it in some way and not letting everyone else's everything take over our lives, and letting our lives be all about caring and nurturing for other people. I see a lot of very creative people with lots of beautiful ideas, lots of things and projects they want to put out into the world, which is part of why I'm doing this whole workshop, where they're really putting all of their self, or most of it, or too much, maybe. That's a judgment kind of thing, but not really. But like, if that's how it feels to you, I don't mean it as a judgment for me on the people. A lot of times we can put more of ourselves into other things, other people, our employer, our job, right? If you have like a traditional career or job, you can be putting more into your boss's vision for the world and his creative project and his business, right? And not actually attending to your things. And we need to find balance with all of that, just like we need to find balance with being kind and understanding to ourselves. If I'm having a migraine, I am not going to be able to write 1,000 words that day, probably. And there are days where I write 10,000 words, no joke. And there are days where I write zero. And I have had to learn how to be okay and all right with that ebb and flow and that balance, because some days I have the energy and some days I don't. And so living the creative life, or bringing a project into fruition, completing stuff, changing something about our life, really is about coming into that balanced space and being kind to ourselves in the process. And that's what I really hope this workshop helps us all to see and develop and create for us. So, all right. If you all don't have any other questions or anything about the workshop or what we're doing or what's going on, then I'm going to go ahead and end this then now, and hope that everyone fills out the application. If you're joining and you want to fill the if you have filled the application out, if you're joining us or whatever, if you know other people, please feel free to share. We've still got some spots. I'd really like to see this be at least an 8 to 10 person community. I really would, because I think that will be a really good number. No, I'm not going above 10, and we do have, I think we have 3 people for certain now at this point. And so I just wanted to say, please feel free to share this information and all. I'd really like to try to be there at our numbers so we can have everything arranged. We can start getting into our group. We can decide what we're going to set up, and I can have time to set up a Discord or a circle community or whatever it is we decide. Maybe we'll do both. I don't know, and then people can decide where they want to participate. Like, we'll see. I'd like to have the time to get that going and get everyone in there in advance of this, starting on April 22nd at 10 a.m. So please feel free to share, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone and hosting this. It's been a desire for so long, and I'm just super, super excited to be offering it finally. So, okay, all right. You're all welcome. Have a great day, and I'll see you around. See you soon. Bye.